Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. All right, all right, all right. Late night. It's not too late. We kind of early. We kind of early. But first and foremost, put a one in the chat if you hear the sound of my voice. Put a one in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Put a one in the chat. We got to get in some things. Happy Sunday. Cream, I see ya. Connie Burns, where you been? Where you been? Okay, okay. All right, all right, all right. Yeah, we got to get into some things. But hold on here. Let me share this. Let me share this on Twitter. Stand by, stand by, stand by. Okay, okay. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Okay. All right. All right, everyone. Let me see here. So the topic tonight is former Congressman Matt Gaetz calls Mann Act racist towards blacks. And I would agree. I would agree the Mann Act has been racist towards blacks. It was used on several people of color. Not just Jack Johnson, but Dr. King and others. And I don't think many people have did the research and have seen when it has been used or attempted to be used on high profile people of color. But I was surprised when I heard that the former congressman, who might be the next attorney general of the United States, because I hear there's some problems in the White House amongst the current AG Pam Bondi, and I don't know if because for those who has been following politics, Matt Gaetz was the first one that was mentioned to take the position of the Attorney General. Hold on, let me just take this out here for a second here. I think you'll want to see my face. I think you'll want to see my face here. We're gonna take this. We're gonna drop that down for a minute, and we'll bring you back up. But hey, good evening, good evening, good evening. Hey, 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 hey. So Matt Gaetz obviously was a congressman. I want to say Florida congressman. Uh, you guys can correct me if I'm incorrect. Incorrect, but I believe he's a Florida congressman, former congressman, and he had left to be considered for the position of attorney general. And at the time, there was some issues that he might have been going through, and he kind of just stepped back. For no other reason, he just stepped back. He wasn't forced out. He wasn't forced out of Congress. He just took a step back to, I guess, to get his media presence even up because he has his own show. And I checked out a few of the episodes. It's a pretty good show, good conversation. And sometimes you just got to go and listen to uh, what the former congressman is saying. And this was one of those times that I said, "Oh, wait a minute, okay." I'm not even going to call him woke. So people say because he knows about the Mann Act, he's woke. I won't say he's woke. He was a congressman. I don't know what committees he was on, but I know that he sat there and he was a part of legislature. And maybe the Mann Act should be reformed and eliminated. It might have to be eliminated because of the way it's being used. Someone said, "Well, Diddy gets out, he needs to be lobbying." He absolutely, absolutely. But what I want to do, because I don't want to be on here too long, but I want you guys to hear what the congressman had to say. I'm not going to play the video. I'm play the audio. So put a one in the chat if you can hear the audio. Let's go. Yeah.
John Diddy Combs. Unless you've been living under a rock, you've heard about the federal RICO and sex trafficking trial regarding his conduct. Diddy went from being the face of black excellence and hanging out with President Obama to being jailed, deprived of his freedom, charged and tried for heinous crimes. Today, we learned from the jury that Diddy has been acquitted of the most serious charges and was found guilty of violating the Mann Act, which is a federal prostitution statute. We'll talk about that in moments. Let me note, we make no claim that Diddy is a good person. Anyone who would raise a hand and strike a woman in the manner he did certainly has terrible issues and should be held accountable for that. Prior to being charged criminally, Diddy was sued by Cassie Ventura, who was assaulted in this video. He paid her $20 million to settle that claim. Ventura was paid an additional $10 million from the hotel where this video was taken. But neither this video nor any evidence presented at trial proves RICO, which is typically used against the mob, or sex trafficking, which involves making people do things that they don't want to do and don't consent to. That's a different thing than assault. Vish Burra and I make a podcast show called Anchorman, and weeks ago, we called it. We said that Diddy would not be found guilty on the sex trafficking and RICO charges levied by the government.
And I called it
Does
too.
Diddy get convicted?
You know what? I don't think so.
Oh, hot take.
Yeah, no.
Make the case for Diddy's innocence, Vish Burra.
Cassie being the main witness there, they got her admitting that she was she had claimed that he raped her or sexually assaulted her, but then was hanging out with him and having sex with him after that this incident took place.
You're going to respond very unfavorably to that characterization by the prosecution for, because of some of those facts that have come out. And like, when I heard and saw this coverage of the Diddy thing, I thought that there would be this mountain of victims who had been forcibly coerced into things they didn't want to do. And now what it looks like is that he's definitely guilty of domestic violence, which is terrible. He hasn't been charged with domestic violence,
Right.
which is interesting. If he were charged with that, I think he would be convicted.
Right.
But that's a state matter, and this is a federal prosecution. And so what they're having to prove, they have precisely one victim.
Right.
One, Cassie Ventura.
No.
And that victim is in text messages saying she hopes the next freak off isn't the last freak off, but the first freak off for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
And, if Cassie regretted those, that's awful, but it's at least a mixed message. I guess
Very mixed.
2 reasons that she had participation in these events. One, that she was forcibly, violently coerced or extorted. And the other, she didn't want to lose her man. And she did things she didn't want to do because she didn't want to lose her man. Now, one of those is probably sex trafficking and a crime. And the other one definitely isn't.
Right.
And this fact pattern seems to meld the two pretty substantially. I'm not saying he's a good guy. I think he should definitely be convicted of the crimes that he obviously committed, but those seem to be state crime around assault, battery, domestic violence. It does not seem to be a federal sex trafficking case.
9 years ago?
There you have it. That's almost precisely what happened. Not guilty on RICO, not guilty on sex trafficking, but with some of the other stuff, there's bad conduct. So let's look at the charges that did stick. 2 violations of something called the Mann Act. The Mann Act became law in 1910, and it has a horrible history of being used as a pretense to punish black people when white people were mad at them and had no real crime to charge, but just wanted a basis for surveillance. Jack Johnson was the first black world heavyweight boxing champion. He was prosecuted in 1913 for violating the Mann Act for transporting a white woman whose bills he was paying and who he later married across state lines. Adam Clayton Powell Jr. was an influential black congressman and civil rights advocate. During the civil rights era, he was dogged while in Congress with questions about investigations and Mann Act violations. Recently declassified documents show that the Mann Act was the basis for the government to discredit and snoop around Marcus Garvey. Marcus Garvey was who they were using this against. Now, Martin Luther King Jr. was never prosecuted under the Mann Act, but it was the Mann Act that J. Edgar Hoover used to get a surveillance predicate, to be able to get information regarding how MLK Jr. was spending his personal time. And then literally, because of that surveillance authority that they got from the Mann Act, you had people at the Department of Justice sending King letters trying to convince him to kill himself. We wonder whether Mann Act convictions will withstand appellate review in the Diddy case. But it's just something that the Mann Act can go from Jack Johnson to a congressman during the civil rights era, to Marcus Garvey, to Martin Luther King Jr., and now to Diddy. That's where we are on the Mann Act. And we really wonder whether or not there'll be an upholding of those convictions when people look at the facts that were used to arrive at them.
And ladies and gentlemen, I remember this. I remember when they went after the Congressman Adam Clayton Powell, a New York congressman. And Matt Gaetz mentioned J. Edgar Hoover. And you might want to Google his name. For those who don't know history, J. Edgar Hoover had surveillances on not just Dr. King, but other Black leaders back then. And they used the Mann Act as a pretext to surveil Dr. King. And these seasoned prosecutors knew this when they added that to the indictment. So if you have a congressman, and no one is condoning what happened to Cassie 9 years ago in that hotel, in the Intercontinental Hotel, but that's not what he was charged with. And if you have a congressman who might be in line for the attorney general spot, might not be using that Mann Act and prosecuting people moving forward. And I saw the comments, so I said, you got to Google's name. No. He pointed out some things that many people that look like me hadn't even touched upon. And he obviously, as a congressman, he has access to information. He had access to a lot of information. And if you do your FOIA request, you too can get access to that, have access to that information. But the problem is this Mann Act is being used against people of color for the wrong reasons. Sean Combs has spent 10, almost 11 months in the MDC in Brooklyn. He spent that much time for awaiting his trial. And this is a prostitution act. And this is a prostitution act. One of the oldest professions in America. Not to say it's right, but there was no victim here. There was no victim. I know I've seen some lawsuits saying, hey, I'm suing Cassie. But I don't know how far you get with that because you were compensated for your services. And if you go to Vegas, it's legal. And again, I'm not making light of the prostitution, but it is. You wouldn't. Let me just say this: if Puff was arrested in New York City, New York State for procuring a prostitute or prostitutes, he would get a slap on the wrist. There wouldn't be felons. There would be misdemeanors. And he would get a slap on the wrist. But we see what's happening right now. We see that we have an inexperienced federal district judge. When I say inexperienced, he's inexperienced on the federal seat. He's inexperienced. He should have never had this case because Maureen Comey, is running circles around him. And for her to have the audacity to say that Mr. Combs shouldn't have been on the Forbes list, what the hell are you talking about? He worked his butt off to be on the Forbes list. There was nothing in your entire presentation of your case that said any of those businesses that he operated, from Sean John to Ciroc to Revolt to other business entities, was criminal. And for you to say that, I thought it was racist. I'm going to say it. How could you say that? You couldn't say anything about his businesses throughout the whole trial. You couldn't say anything about his businesses. Oh, he uses employees to do this. But you didn't say anything about these very successful businesses that was criminal. But he shouldn't have been on the Forbes list. Let's look at the criteria. You know who didn't make the Forbes list? You know who didn't make the Forbes list? James Comey. He never made the Forbes list. I could be wrong. No, I'm not wrong. He never made the Forbes list. So we're going to talk about who shouldn't be on the Forbes list. People who don't put the work in shouldn't be on the Forbes list. People who overcharge people shouldn't be in that position. Let's just be honest. You shouldn't be in the position of a prosecutor if you're overcharging without assessing the evidence. This was in my opinion, this was a shaming ritual that was taking place in this trial. It was a shaming ritual. It was a shaming ritual, and it started from the press conference that Damian Williams, the former U.S. attorney, did. It was a shaming ritual. He did all this showboat and grandstanding, and it amounted to nothing. It amounted to nothing. It was a bad decision to even appoint you to that position. But thank former President Biden, who also appointed the district judge, who's also went after the former president. This was a definite power play. And Kamala Harris, you don't, former VP, you're not off the hook either, because you were advising Biden. He came to you for a lot of advice, because he had half the time he was sleeping. No, don't take me there. But Sleepy Joe was sleeping. So, and it was some rumors back in the day. It was some rumors back. Listen. Hold on a second. Listen. Listen. D, I see it. You said lousy reputation. Hey, listen, but it is what it is. Let's focus on the Mann Act. That's what we're talking about. You might not like the messenger, but the message is real. The message is real. The message is real. And it should be abolished. I don't listen. There are a lot of wrong messages out there. But the messages is good. So I'm not taking. Listen. I'll have a problem with taking him being an ally to bring attention to this very racist law. And listen. That's an argument for another day. There are a lot of people that should be delivering messages, but you know what I'm talking about. Don't do it. D, don't do that. D, don't do it. D, don't do it. Shout out to Spitting Fire. So yeah, I agree with the former congressman. I mean, he made a good point, and it's right for appeal. It's definitely right for appeal, and I think that the businessman that Mr. Combs is, I'm sure he's working different angles. I'm sure of that. MMPD, I see you. I mean, someone said, why didn't Cassie get charged? Well, they were targeting Combs. They ignored the fact that you charge him with a Mann Act for prostitution. He wasn't the benefactor of the services. Cassie was the benefactor of the services. Those entertainers served up Cassie. They testified. There was testimony that she paid for it. She paid for it. She wasn't forced. Got to remember, the jurors heard all that. She wasn't forced. She was good. They had like 30 guys on a chart in the courtroom, and she had a menu of choices. So, let's and that's a good question. Why was she charged? Well, they're not going to charge her. because she wasn't the focus. They wanted to go after him. They wanted to go after his assets. They wanted to say his corporation, his company, Sean Combs Enterprises, was a criminal enterprise, which it was not. And the jurors concluded that it was not. And I knew going in that this case wasn't it had nothing, it was a lot of talk and people were speculating. And that fed the media circus because there was so much stuff that was being put out there that was untrue and no one knew anything. And think about this. When all that stuff was being said, none of the jurors had been picked, discussed, none of that. So the pool was already poisoned. It was already poisoned. But fortunately, during the voir dire, they were able to pick the necessary jurors to get the outcome, the proper outcome. But in the end, the potential pool was tainted with bad information. And it started with the Damian Williams in his press conference. It started with that. No, actually started before that. If we want to talk about, some of the stuff the shock jock was doing on her platform and interviewing people and saying that all this stuff was going to come out, this is going to show this. It was all lies. It was never the type of evidence that came into the court. It was never no children, and that rumor went out there, and people ran with it. People started running to the court. Let me file a lawsuit. Let me. One girl said, I came all the way down to the Radio City Music Hall and had Jay-Z and Diddy in some nonsense, which never happened. It was all BS. But people ran with it. They ran with it. They wanted to go ahead. They wanted to believe the lie. They wanted to believe the lie, ladies and gentlemen. The lies sound better than the truth. And then you got Gene Dill out here clout chasing. I said it. Every time you turn around, it was either Gene Dill or Jaguar Wright running to a channel. And then you had people like Piers Morgan just gave him a platform to tell these, in the art of dialogue, you got, listen, history is not going to be kind to people that move like that. I would just say that. History is not going to be kind to people that move like that. I mean, it was just ridiculous. You could show as soon as Gene came to the courthouse and said, Gene, are you testifying? No, I'm just here to watch. Okay. You here to get some press. That's what you're here for. And then Jaguar Wright shows up the first day. She comes in, not even that long. Then people hit me up, hey, Mr. Byron, she got a warrant. I don't know what she got. And then I see Rodney Jones. He shows up. I see him the first day, and his attorney, the one who tried to run over a process server. He's ducking service from a lawsuit. Shout out to Fat Joey Crack from the Bronx. He's dodging the lawsuit. Got a damn attorney allegedly trying to run over a process server because he don't want to get served. Where they do that at? You attorney, what are you gonna do? You trying to serve everyone lawsuits, but when it's time for you to get served, you don't want to get served. Boy, this is comical. This is comical. Then you had the shock jock propping these individuals up. She got leaks. The FBI. She got the FBI telling her things and all. Wait. You done said you got the FBI. I ain't even seen your fake FBI badge. The one that you drew. Nah, but we never seen your real ID. By the way, everyone had an ID, but you never showed an ID. What's that all about? If we want to tell the truth, ladies and gentlemen, let's tell the real truth. It was just certain things that was just kind of acting. It was looking real sketchy. It was looking real sketchy. But I'm going to be, not right now, but I'm going to do another live. I want to talk about some of the things that I missed on my previous live regarding some of the things I saw that kind of wasn't trying to talk about during the trial. I wasn't really trying to make that about the trial. But I did see a few things that was kind of odd. I did see a few things were kind of odd. A lot of times I just watch on the side. I just watch and I observe. And I was at a good vantage point inside the courtroom. I was seeing everything. You know, I saw. Listen, there were things happening that some people thought I didn't catch it. I was catching everything. Anything that moved, I'm watching jurors. I'm watching the audience. I'm watching Mr. Combs, the family. You know, there were just certain things I saw that you had to be there in order to um, get a full understanding. And I think that's what people are missing. That you see tweets doesn't capture the moments in the courtroom, doesn't capture the testimony, doesn't capture the body language, the tonage. I had to look at the body language of these witnesses testifying. Ones were very uncomfortable when they were asked under direct examination certain questions and the way they responded, and then how they were asked answering questions under cross examination. You can't get that type of information from outside the courthouse. It just won't happen. So I do commend those who took the time out and came and sat in the courtroom. Let me tell you something. Getting into the main courtroom wasn't easy for a lot of people because there were a lot of people trying to get in there. You had all these overflow rooms and you only had a limited amount of seats. And that was a little messy too. It was interesting, but I made sure I got in there. I'm gonna find a way. I'm gonna find a way to be in there. It was the whole thing about my press card. They weren't, there were certain people hating on my press card. Oh, this is not the New York City press card. Well, I'm not from New York. So I fought to get one. I didn't really want to get one because, I'm not going to really use it. But ultimately, I decided when I was told that, oh, well, which things are going to be changed next week. So you got to get a New York City press card. I don't know why. All you have to do is look at the person's work and see if this person is actually part of the media. Because there were people there that weren't part of the media that actually didn't do any real coverage, but they had a press card, a nice little shiny press card, but they really didn't do any coverage. Like, I'm gonna be honest, they didn't. But it was let's just say it was just some people, I don't know, I can't call it. I think it's just people who were doing it too much. Mama Great says since 1910, it has never been looked at. Uh, yeah, it was looked at after night. It's been looked at because they used it in other cases. They used it in other cases. Real quick, let me just shout out. I said I won't be doing this too much, but let me just shout out. Let's see here. Let me shout out Spit and Fire. Okay, yeah, okay, yeah. Thanks for the super sticker. She says, she says it's a racist. It is racist and should be gone. Absolutely. And then we have. So thanks for the super sticker. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Okay. Um. Yeah, I agree. So as a kid, President Trump get rid of it. Well, he can. Well, he can pardon. He can pardon Mr. Combs. He can do that. That's something that he's free to do, and we don't know if that's off the table. The president hasn't spoken about it just yet, but we'll see. There may not be an October 3rd date. We may not even see a date. That date that's supposed to be the sentencing date, but we may not even see it. People may be losing jobs. People may be going on to other jobs. Listen, we don't know what's going to happen before then. We can speculate. No, the Mann Act, it would have to be an act of Congress. And I want to say 2/3 of Congress. That would have to be an act by Congress. 2/3 of Congress, if I'm correct. And you could check. I think it's 2/3 of the Congress that would have to vote to change it, and it can be repealed. That can be repealed, and hopefully it is repealed. Especially when it's targeting race of people. Yeah, I think it should be. I think it should be. That is my belief. It should be. I mean, if we can find some case law that will show that it's been used fairly, then that's going to be something I'm sure that will be addressed real soon. And I say soon. I say within the next month or two. We'll have to see. Someone said, "Can't the president could do it? He can issue a pardon like he did to Jack Johnson." I'm sorry, guys. Stand by. He said let me see this. Why do you say it was his favorite documentary? Where you get that from? Why do you say that? Yeah, but we know what President Trump pardoned Jack Johnson. He pardoned him. He definitely pardoned him. His family was able to get his name cleared. Stand by, guys. Stand by. So we have to see. We have to see. You're still, you're still talking about. Oh, I want to say something real quick. I got an opportunity to watch the content creator Ratchet TV's live, where he talked about what happened after the whole situation in the courtyard of the federal courthouse, and he's right. There were things that was being said that never even happened. But people are, and it's interesting. The people seen the videos. They seen all the videos that was out in that courtyard. But he never threatened that woman. He never threatened that woman. But I see now there's a campaign to, I don't know, I saw someone post his mugshot, and I'm like, hey, what does his mugshot got to do with what happened in that courtyard? And then it was, and if we're going to be honest, that lady said some racist things, used the N-word towards him, and that no one had an issue with that. She said that very comfortable. This is why I'm saying I don't know that. I don't know. I don't know that woman. I don't know if she's a person of color. I don't get that. I really don't get that. But that was the N-word was thrown around, and just imagine the two people that was on her side when she said it. Think about that. But you want to give her a pass. Yeah, I saw that. I saw her going. The kids off limits, but hey, is it bullying if someone responds to the nonsense? I don't think it's bullying. I think people have a right to do a reaction if they feel that children are being targeted. Saying the kids are hiding money. That's just weird. And then no one's taking his assets. I mean, they didn't get a conviction on RICO, and they didn't get a conviction on sex trafficking. They're not touching his assets at all. They don't take people's assets for buying a prostitute. That doesn't fly in America. We're still in America now. That doesn't fly. I don't know about mix. Listen. I need to see the family photo album. That's what I need to see. I need to see the family photo album. Oh no, 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 no. We need to see some. We need to see some receipts. Wigs are not going to cut it because she got that good hair. She got that good hair. I need to see the family photo album. I need to see it. Not the fake one, the real one. Because those ain't contact lenses, I don't think. Those are not contact lenses. Come on. I need to see a black card. I need to see the black card. You're throwing the N word around. Now we gotta see the black card. Now you're throwing the N word. No. You don't get a pass like that now. If people say, protect black woman. Wait a minute. Cassie's not even a black woman. What are you talking about? No, it was Mia. No, it was Jane Doe. None of them were black women. Protect black woman. Cut the cap. Stop it. No, there was no black woman on that trial as victims, besides alleged victims. So stop it. Stop it. They're on YouTube and Twitter. Protect black women. You got to protect. Oh, what trial are you watching again? Now, we need to protect that black woman in Queens, New York, who got attacked by, looks like 2 men and a girl. Did anyone seen that? I saw that video yesterday, and this happened in Queens. Man, I would have put, hey, listen. Oh, my goodness. The way they was attacking that black woman, as a student, she was a student too, for a parking space. Doing all that for a parking space, putting a garbage can on the man. I wish that was me. I would have got out, moved the. Oh, stop. We ain't with all that. No, we're not with all that. And then did you guys see I think I put it on my Instagram, the video of the woman being someone attempted to accost her on a train station. Boy, they got in his behind. They gave him a New York beatdown. I said, get, listen. Sometimes a beatdown's necessary. If you're attacking a woman, then it's necessary. You got to, listen, I don't care, black, white, whatever. You attacking a woman and men don't stand up and protect that woman, you guys are cowards. Yeah, but I just love my New Yorkers. They put those paws on him. Try to kidnap that woman. Oh my goodness. But anyway, guys, I don't want to turn up now. About to turn up. Dear Shauna says she don't claim it. Yeah, she don't really claim. Has anyone ever saw her claim it? I don't think I've seen her claim it. I don't think she ever claimed it. I want to hear her say it loud. Dun, 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 dun. I'm black and I'm proud. You know that. You know the chant. Say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. Come on now. Because I see your real hair now. You're real. Listen, someone sent me a video of your real hair. I'm like, wait a minute. This is not adding up here. Oh, really? Oh, see? This might be a problem here. Wait a minute. This might be a hate crime. Wait a minute. She ain't black and she's saying the N-word? This might be a hate crime. Wait a minute. See, sir? You saying the N-word, but if you're not black and they saying you might have been a little aggressive in that courthouse. Is this a hate crime? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. This might have been a hate crime. Wait a minute. Oh, we got to look into this. We got to look into this. Hold on a second here. Hold on. Hold on. Let me call a friend. Let me call a friend. I got to call a friend because this is. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let me call a friend. She might have some clarity to this here. Hold on. Dum 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 dum. Oh. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on.
Hello.
Hey, Michelle, listen, we're live. I have a question for you. If the person's not black and they use the N word, can that be considered a hate crime?
Yeah,
If they're not black and they throwing the N word around and they're being really aggressive, you think they could be perceived as a hate crime?
I guess so, somewhat.
Oh my goodness. This is getting scary now. This is getting scary now. I need
Lord.
I need to see the black card now. At this point,
Uh-oh.
we got to see photo. We got to see a photo album. We got to see the photo album because this she was throwing it. She was throwing it. Oh, I'm talking about the shock jock. She was throwing that N word around a little too freely.
Mm.
You know, come on. She lost all her cool right there. And that's right there. She lost her cool. She had a whole. She had everyone cameras all over her, and she felt comfortable using the N word.
Uh-oh.
I got a problem with that.
Let me tune in to this live, you know.
Hmm.
I said, let me tune in to this live. There's a good stuff about.
Oh yeah, I'm on live. Yeah, come on up in here, girl. Come on up in here.
Bye, then.
All right. Shout out to Michelle Brown from AT Alien. Yeah, I'm seeing a few people that have done lives and shout out to Sherelle World. I hadn't seen them in a while, and they talked about it as well. But Sherelle's husband, I understood his perspective and why he is offended. You know, I would be too if someone's constantly going after black men like Jonathan Majors. I know she went after Jonathan Majors when that situation was going on. It's like if she's not a woman of color, she's doing too much. And not to say women of color should be bashing men, nor I'm not saying that either. But yeah, you went after Jonathan Majors and you were wrong with that. What's wrong with it? And the Diddy train is for you, it's about to end. It's about to end. And you said some interesting things that others have pointed out. Someone at the courthouse told you need to get security. When did they do that? And when did they do that? Did the marshals tell you need to get court security? I mean, get security because they are the security. You were protected in the building. Well, so who told you this? Then you say you talked to the FBI too? Mm. Why would you talk to the FBI? You're not a witness, victim, or anybody. Oh, you were talking to him because people were telling you things and you wanted to share the information. That's what it was. They were telling you lies and you wanted to give it to the FBI so they could do the investigation. Oh, I see what it is. I see what's happening. So people tell lies and then you share the information. Hey, I got this. Oh, I just did this interview and someone just said this and you should investigate this. Oh, okay, that's what happened, allegedly. Okay, I see what this is. I see exactly what this is. And then you can go back on your platform and say, well, I told her the FBI. Hmm. Interesting. Interesting. Very interesting. Guys, I think I'm going to have a panel discussion. We're going to take about a 2 minute break. I'm going to bring some panelists up here. We're going to talk about this. This is getting very, very bizarre. Stand by, guys. I'm going to put you on mute. Hold on. All right, guys, I'm back. Okay, I'm back. Okay, put a one in the chat if you found my voice. I'm about to drop the link. I am about to drop the link. Yeah, let me drop the link. Here we go. Okay, I'm dropping the link. If you want to discuss the topic, I'm dropping the link right there. And I'm going to pin it. If I can pin it, can I pin that? No, I can't pin it. I'm going to highlight it. I'm going to highlight it. Okay. If you want to come up, you can click on the link if you want to talk about this topic and this topic only. It is there for you. If you're on Twitter, you got to come on to YouTube on either the Hip Hop Inquirer or Mr. Dennis Byron's YouTube page, and you can join in. So I'm pinning the link, and hopefully my folks can pull up. Let's see here. I see a comment, but I'm pinning that right now. Meanwhile, let's see if you guys can hear this. This here. Hold on. Let's go. Okay. Okay. Okay, I'm back. Okay. And I lost you guys for a second. Okay, yeah, I agree with you, Atlanta Bird Gang. Yeah. It was just weird because I never heard her talk like that throughout the whole trial. I never even heard her use that kind of language. Um, so I thought it was kind of, out of character. But again, I only know her from YouTube, and she was very cordial to me while I was there. Um, but yeah, that was just, think about this. She said it, and I think thousands of people were listening to her say that, and then she goes on Nancy Grace and say things that didn't even happen. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm waiting for the my guest to pop up. I think she's getting herself together. I think she's getting herself together. For those who are tuning in, we were listening to the Matt Gaetz show, and I had to agree with him. You know, the I agree with a lot of what he said. So even down to Cassie. Okay, guys. So if you're not coming up, what we're gonna do is we're gonna end this, and we have another show at 9:30, I believe. We'll be back at 9:30. Yeah, I'm gonna check on her soon. I'm gonna check on her soon. MPD. I'm gonna check on her soon. So we're gonna move that link, and we're gonna see you guys on the next live. Let's see here. Let's see you guys on the next one. Peace.